Welcome to Ibis Weather. This is Sarah. This is the update for January 31st, 2026. Today is the last official day of the first month of the year. And of course, we are talking about Winter Storm Gianna, also known as a nor'easter or bomb cyclone, as she is currently taking shape and impacting the southeast coast, all the way from Georgia up to North Carolina and a little bit into Virginia. We are right now looking at the National Weather Service's watches, warnings, and advisory display. So we do see it looks like some of it has changed from yesterday for some of the cold advisory. We do see it for that middle to the western half to the eastern edge of Missouri. So most of Tennessee, except for the extreme northern corner of it, side of it. We have a cold advisory for northern portions of Mississippi and Alabama. Just cold, extreme cold for rest of the two states. Most of Georgia, except for where they have the winter storm warning from about Effingham County all the way up to over there, the border, shared borders of the Carolinas and Tennessee. We also have some of the extreme cold warning again right now going on all the way down to Florida. We do see a little bit of some of this darker purple. Let's go ahead and take a look, see what that one is. Again, off the top of my head. Um, and that is freeze warning. So we do have freeze warnings for southern, southeastern side of Texas, a little bit down the rest of the coast, of course, southern Louisiana, and even all the way down there in Miami, Florida, which is unusual. And then we just see some more of the cold advisories for the Mid Atlantic, the Ohio Valley, and into a little bit into New England. But that is what we're looking at now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the live radar, where we currently do have Winter Storm Gianna. She is forming over here. You may have experienced, if you're in the southeast portions of the U.S., you probably have experienced some of the extreme winds she has produced with howling winds. In fact, right now I'm sitting here and I'm actually hearing her wind blowing outside my window right now. So she's right on cue for that. Obviously snow for Georgia, all of South Carolina, pretty much all of North Carolina. It does look like they are having some snow and rain showers mixed in over there by Virginia a little bit and on their eastern half of North Carolina. And it looks like Tennessee is starting to clear out a little bit. Kentucky's got, even the western Kentucky's got a little bit of snow. And then, not related to Winter Storm Gianna, we do have some snow all the way from the Dakotas down to northern Oklahoma. And that is what we are seeing right now on radar. Let's go ahead and look at some of the snow reports. As you can see, is clustered again mostly over here in the Carolinas and a little bit Georgia and Tennessee. So for PM Eastern Time today, they got 14.5 so far in Foss, North Carolina, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, 13.5, Craven, North Carolina, 13. So these are inches again. So they all got a little bit more than a foot. Harrisburg, North Carolina, a little over a foot. Kannapolis, North Carolina, a little over a foot. Critz, Virginia. Huntsville, North Carolina. Faith, North Carolina. Rock Hill. China Grove got a little, almost a foot there. Lexington, Concord, Salisbury, Dune Acres, Indiana got 11, which is again not related to Gianna. And then, of course, I see some in New York up to 11 inches, and then some more in Tennessee, North Carolina as well. So that is where we are. We'll continue to monitor this over the next day or two as she is currently going. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the models are suggesting of her to do. Which, speaking of the models, I do want to let you guys know I have actually uploaded the models versus reality run for Winter Storm Fern, which was the storm, ice storm slash snowstorm that we had happening last weekend. It is on my YouTube page if you guys want to check it out. I would love you guys' thoughts and opinions on it. It's something I want to do again for this particular storm as well. I want to do this for historical accuracy and also just have that data available, and also kind of teach people a little bit more about models versus the reality, and also kind of show maybe some of the pain points of where weather is a little bit more complicated to predict and not something that can easily be um, figured out, especially when it comes to certain systems, including winter storms. So let's go back to GFS. So this is for midnight Sunday. So you see snow again, pretty much all of North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, pretty much all of South Carolina, and the upper Savannah River area. and a little bit into southern Virginia. Let's go forward. Again, you see that continuing out by 6 a.m. Sunday. We see Winter Storm Gianna starting to pull out east and pulling away from the coastline. So you start seeing North Carolina, South Carolina clearing out. And then by 6 p.m. Sunday, it looks like no one in the southeast will be dealing with her anymore. Does look like a little bit of the mid Atlantic and New England might have some of their outer limits of her. And she continues to move away. So, as I mentioned yesterday, it does look like maybe she'll pick up speed and make her exit a little bit faster than initially thought a few days ago, so that is good news for sure, especially since she is causing some heavy snow for certain parts. Let's go ahead and see what the euro is showing. So for euro, again, we're starting here at 6 p.m. today, January 31st. So this one obviously is not showing everything as the snow has made its way down to the southeast coast of Georgia. I assume the same for the coastal Carolinas. If we go and look over here at the live radar. Let's see if we can zoom in actually on the radar. So yes, it does definitely look like that they've also been getting some of that in our coastal areas. You do see a little bit of dry pockets and dry areas. Kind of also see a little bit of rotation and not super strong rotation, obviously. As again, this is not tropical system, but still there's a little bit of spin there actually. So that's interesting to see. So again, kind of model versus reality here. Um, they didn't think that we'd be getting this far early, this far south, east on the coast yet. So let's go ahead and see what it shows by 9 o'clock tonight. Expanding by midnight. Starting to exit out of Georgia by 3 tomorrow morning. Um, Exiting out of the Carolinas by 6 a.m. Still by 9. Pretty much gone by 12 o'clock noon, except for maybe the Outer Banks of North Carolina, seen a little bit over there in by New England. And she continues to pull away from coastline, going east northeast, um, clearing out, making for a cold but not as damp Sunday for the rest of us. Let's go ahead and see what the Canadian model, since that's been one that I've been showing you guys with this particular system as well. So Canadian model for 6 p.m. today, January 31st. Again, this one is showing a little bit of rain over there by coastal South Carolina, but right now it's not the case. It's obviously snow. Let's go forward by midnight. We're showing more snow over Georgia, and of course all of South Carolina and pretty much all of North Carolina. Start seeing it cool away from Georgia by 6 a.m. Out of South Carolina, except for Myrtle Beach by the Myrtle Beach area, and a little bit inland of that by 12. Pretty much gone from both of the Carolinas and Virginia by 3 p.m. Sunday, or 6 p.m. Sunday, I should say, and then by midnight Monday again. So missing pretty much of the Mid Atlantic and New England. All three models are showing that, which is good news for you guys. Hence why I think you don't see any advisories necessarily for you guys up there, or warnings or watches. So that is good news since you guys did have some particularly nasty weather last week. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about there's been talks and rumblings about, oh, well, February we might see more continued cold coming through, at least until the end of the month, which means we might see more systems, storms forming. That is possible. It's true. I'm not going to say it isn't. However, I don't know if that is really the full picture, especially when we are relying on models, and they're not forecasts, right? We have to take in all the information, all the data, the science there with it. We can't just go run whatever the model presents us. Kind of point of that series I'm coming out with about models versus reality, obviously. So right now, as you can see, this is for the air temperature, about 2 meters. This is the Euro one, so it's starting at tonight at 6 p.m. So you start seeing the cold air pushing through more further south, continues, and then come by midnight Sunday, you definitely see even the southern part of the Florida Panhandle, coastal areas of Mississippi, Alabama, a little bit in close to the northern half of New Orleans, Dallas, and we see it continue to grow down. Florida, get the peninsula getting it definitely by Sunday as well. And then it starts lifting at 3 o'clock. And it starts lifting out. We're starting to see a little bit of a warming trend here. At least the Euro is showing that by tomorrow evening. And it just kind of goes back and forth. You kind of see definitely see some of the colder ones coming down into the Ohio Valley there, and basically flirting with the northern plains as well. Come Monday, then we see start warming up again. Again, still cold. Obviously, we're talking about 30s here, but not as cold as it is further up north. Start seeing Texas warm up by Monday. Um, and is that as no? Okay, and again, see some of the cold air pushing again. So just kind of a tug of a war, if you will. So it's definitely interesting. See it starting to warm up, cold cold air pushing down, warming up. Florida possibly being and having highs in the 60s. Um, come Wednesday. And again, it's just kind of a tug of war, and the GFS is kind of doing that as well. As you can see, it's nothing super great. Um, we'll have to kind of watch it and monitor it. The trend is right now that we will be staying on the colder side, mostly because our air Canada is leaving that gate open for it to come this far south. Um, I think we should start thinking about possibly what this might mean for spring if this lingers into starting into March. You know, as we start seeing more and warm air coming in up from the Gulf, that definitely kind of has some concerns for me about what um, tornado season will look like for the plains this year. Of course, you can't really begin to predict those things. These are just ideas that I'm thinking as we kind of watch and monitor the weather going on right now. But it does look like that, we won't really have much of a warm up that's going to stick around for a good, most of February at this point. Unfortunately, of course, tug of war can things change. Yes, these are just models. These are not forecasts. We'll have to continue to monitor it. The good news, it does look like next weekend won't be as cold as it has been this weekend and past weekend, but we do have to kind of watch as we kind of inch closer into Valentine's weekend. So the weekend after this upcoming weekend that we have. So we'll have to kind of continue to monitor and see what happens on that. If that's going to happen. It's too early to tell. We know the models will change between now and then. Time will tell. We'll just have to continue to monitor and see. The good news is it looks like, by Monday, February 16th, that Florida might be definitely warming up. Um, Southeast might be warming up some again. More, I would say, well, on the warmer side, temperatures for us than being cold. But as you can see by February 16th, it does show some snow or colder air starting to kind of plunge in again. Time will tell. Right now, we don't have anything official or set, but I will say it does look like this upcoming weekend will be at least warmer. Doesn't look like we will be dealing with a extreme cold snap or a snowstorm. Again, it could change between now and then, but right now it's looking less likely, which is good news. So again, let's go back and take a look at the radar, live radar, as you can see. Let's kind of readjust. So Virginia, a lot of Virginia is getting a lot of rain and snow showers. Tennessee, most of the Carolinas, and a good portion of Georgia as well. And even Nashville's getting some snow showers as well, which is interesting. I guess the moisture is there enough for it. So we'll continue to monitor and see, have updates. I will have reality versus model run sometime next week. Winter Storm Gianna. I do have the one for Fern up again. If you guys do want to check it out, I do recommend it. Um, Took me a while to edit, longer than I wanted to, but I even lost my work mid progress, but I was able to get it. So please let me know what you guys think. Please like and share this video. I know it's not super exciting as we don't really have a big system to talk about now. We'll kind of continue to monitor what will be for Valentine's weekend, but does look like this upcoming weekend will be more mild, which I think everyone can use and appreciate a little bit of a thaw out, if you will, before we have another possible chance of cold, severe cold snap that could bring snow or cold rain showers or, sleet or ice. Again, no guarantee that we won't see any more of that for the month of February, but the possibility does look like it will be there. We'll just have to wait and see what actually happens. So please like and share this video. Let me know where you guys are located and what you guys are currently experiencing. As I mentioned, I am in Southeast Georgia, so we have been experiencing snow since about 4 p.m. this evening, and we've had some high winds as well from Winter Storm Gianna and her low pressure. Let's go ahead and take a look and pull up the two other things to look at while I'm thinking of it. Okay, this is something I don't typically show unless we are again in tropical storm season, summer months. So that's from June through the end of November, and kind of show you guys what we're talking about. Again, as I've mentioned pretty much all week and previously, a nor'easter bomb cyclone is not completely unlike a hurricane or a tropical system. It's not the season, so it doesn't have the necessary tropical characteristics. I did mention you do see a little bit on the radar image, a little bit of what appears to be atmospheric spin, and sure enough, she's kind of all over the place, a little bit sloppy, but you definitely see a little bit of some organization and trying to spin over here. Again, sloppy. Again, the conditions and environmental factors are just not in favor for a more tighter system. But it's definitely interesting to see this and see, where the winds are all kind of coming and blowing and converging, and definitely see her kind of organizing. You definitely see some kind of interesting airflow, wind flow in the Carolinas and a little bit into Georgia as well. So we'll continue to monitor that. Let's go ahead and look at the GOAS satellite. So as you can see, again, you see a little bit of an attempt of rotation out here. Not surprising considering the kind of system, but definitely interesting nonetheless. You can definitely see the clouds and the storms, snow showers, rain showers building over here. So we'll continue to monitor that going forward. Okay, let's take a look, one more look at the live radar. This is what we're currently dealing with. Again, please share, like this video, comment where you guys are located and what you guys are currently experiencing. Don't forget, I do have the models versus reality for Winter Storm Fern from last week, and there will be a video like that coming out for Winter Storm Gianna later on this upcoming week. And make sure to continue to follow a trusted source for all your weather related updates. I will continue to be posting updates, even if we have a slower week this week, hopefully, with the weather, as we get closer to next weekend. And I will also post more updates on Facebook. If you do go on my YouTube channel page, you will see a link for my Facebook up here as well if you want for a little more frequent updates and a little bit of different content than necessarily what you get here on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching, and I will post more updates soon. Thank you.